Hello, welcome to another episode of the Long Hop Cricket Podcast with me, Owen, and alongside me, as always, Dave. And today we're going to be going over the second one-day international between India and England. Before we do that, as always, Dave, how's your day been? Or your week?
Yeah, not a lot's happened. The ODIs are so close together, aren't they?
They are. I can't really say week, can I?
So, well, it's been
How's it been since the last podcast?
uneventful.
Uneventful. Okay, do you want to ask me?
How has your week been?
Really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything interesting?
Really good. Not massively interesting, just had a really good week. Just feeling good. It's always nice, isn't it? It's a plus.
Right, you ready for news?
Yeah, go on.
So,
I think we need a jingle for our news. Next Sunday, we'll have a jingle for the news.
no promise, I'm not doing it.
I'm doing it.
You don't know how to do anything with
I
computers.
will. I'll do the intro. I'm going to smash out something for the news.
Are you going to do it yourself, like with proper instruments? Or are you going to...
Not an actual jingle with it. I can't play any musical instrument, but just a voice one for a good intro.
Okay.
Anyway, go on.
News?
Yeah, news.
Rachel Hayhoe Flint
Yeah.
dies aged 77. England women's international captain. Also was involved in the vice presidency of Wolves football club.
Yeah.
So it's a shame. I think she did a lot for the women's game.
She did a lot. She won the World Cup.
Yeah, and I think the success of the England's women's team now owes a lot to Rachel.
She was the first to get voted onto the MCC board or something.
That is such an
That's
achievement,
incredible,
isn't it?
So
So
boundaries.
will be sadly missed, I imagine, in the game. Another piece of news is AB de Villiers is out of the Test series. Something's a bit weird is going on with AB.
I know he hasn't played for a while. I don't think in Test matches.
He had problems with an injury, but he's saying that he only wants to play. He's prepared to play ODIs and T20s, and he's playing in a couple of weeks in the T20 for South Africa, but he doesn't want to commit himself to Test cricket at the moment because of his injury. So whether he's testing it out, though, if I was South African, that would kind of. I suppose it depends where you prioritise tests compared to limited overs, but that would piss me off.
I was reading on Sky Sports that apparently he's saying he's not retiring from Test match cricket. So I hopefully he hasn't.
We'll have to see, won't we?
We'll have to wait and see.
So it's been said that Monty Panesar is going to help out Australia before the Indian tour. So he's going to come in a coaching role. And Monty Panesar, it's difficult to talk about Monty, I think, because he's a bit of a cult legend, but he's been through a really tough time in cricket. He's had problems with mental health, and it's a really...
He's had problems outside of cricket, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's had problems with his mental health. I think he put on a lot of weight, and he's without a county actually at the moment, and he's playing in a stateside in Australia. So he's going to come in and do a little bit of coaching, I imagine, with Australia.
If you're the Australian cricket team, what are you hoping he can give you?
Yeah, this is it. Even though I love Monty, I've got side note. I bumped into Monty Panesar once in a petrol station. And I'd gone and watched Northampton versus Lancashire up in Northampton. And I'd waited about 30 minutes to try and catch Freddie Flintoff after the game. Right. It might have been longer, an hour maybe.
To the chip van instead.
Freddie Flintoff just speeds off in his car, doesn't stop for any autographs, doesn't stop for any kids, nothing. And I was about 11 or 12. This was 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
And then, so I was pretty down about it actually. I was like, oh, he's been at my ashes here and all this.
Right.
And then on the way home, we come out the ground and Dad needs petrol, so he's going to the petrol station.
Yeah.
Monty's there, and he was so nice. Gave us, had a little chat with us, signed some things.
That's cool.
He had a BMW at the time, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Australia.
I don't know what he's going to give you. Do you know if you go, we need someone to help us with spin before we go to India. Who do we want? I don't know if Monty's at the top of the list.
Yeah, he's not. When you see there's Mushtaq Ahmed and people like have gone into Anil Kumble have gone into
and I think he was
coaching.
Like you say, he had a patch doing really well and like a bit of a cult legend, but he was a bit one-dimensional, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose
he sort of had one ball.
Yeah, but best of luck to Monty.
Yeah,
I hope he smashes it obviously and gets himself back into an English county. Did you hear about Peter Neville being hit by the bat in the Big Bash?
Yeah, I saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
That was probably...
He threw it a long way.
Yeah.
That travelled a long way.
I haven't watched it, so go on then. Take us through it.
Well, it's 2020, so this bloke's tried to murder the ball.
Yeah.
And as it's right at the apex of his swing, it's just slipped straight out his hand. And it's flown like, I don't know, like 15 yards. Pretty flat as well.
Oh, flat.
Not like one of them like up in the air and dropped on him. It's travelled and the handle has hit him straight in the face. It was quite an impressive throw.
But he I think...
He had to go off.
Went off, but then everything was okay.
Quite nasty, actually. I think he had a nasty bruise on his face.
So there has been some intrigue into a chat between the commentators and Brad Hodge on pitch. And have you seen this now in Big Bash? That
yeah, it's been going on for a while, isn't it? They mic up players.
Well, you can go on Google and find the whole story, but yeah, not the best conversation going on between both of them, I think.
Oh, you see, I watched the highlights last night.
But they're not going to put that on the highlights.
Right, okay, because Brad
Hodge
Hodge was... No, but
inappropriate
Brad Hodge, I didn't
inappropriate conversations.
But he was speaking to them in the highlights. They had Brad Hodge speaking to the commentators.
From the pitch?
From the pitch,
yeah,
he was playing in the highlights.
They're mic'd up, aren't they, the players?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But they had an inappropriate conversation over...
So that obviously they cut that out.
Microphones, yeah.
What was it about?
I don't know, I haven't properly looked into
Right.
it. It's regarding another player or regarding someone on their team.
maybe.
Yeah, and it's
some professional.
not great to go on live television.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get onto the game...
Put that in the highlights.
Before we get into the game, we want to have a quick chat to you about last episode. For those of you who haven't seen or haven't listened to last episode, it was the first ODI between England versus India. And for some reason...
It just blew up.
Picked up quite a lot of views. In fact, it doubled our view count for the whole channel.
Yeah.
Picked up... You can go and have a look how many
We
it's
were
got.
going crazy. Couldn't believe it.
We don't know why that's happened or how it's happened.
Got an idea of why it might have.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, we said, I think it's people without like killing our own, but I think it's people looking. Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't understand why that's picked up eight times.
Oh no,
as
it's
much
crazy why it's picked
so
up. So
if
much
you're new to the show, we know we picked up a few subscribers during the last game. If you're new, and that was the only episode you found, could you tell us how you found it? Whether it was in suggested videos or someone shared it or somebody told you about it. We just wanted to maybe get an inkling into how that grew quickly. We're not saying it went viral by any means, but for a 30-minute podcast to hit 800 views when we only had 9 subscribers at the time, we were over the moon with it. But if you could leave comments below about how you found that, if your first-time listener was last week, that would be really appreciated.
Yeah, or just any subscriber, how they found us.
Yeah.
Useful.
If you can tell us when about you came in, that'd be really useful. But thank you to everyone who got involved last week. It was a bit of
cool, wasn't it?
Bit of a surprise. Yeah. Anyway, cricket.
Right.
India versus England, second ODI.
Good game.
India win by 15 runs with a game where we see over 700 runs.
Yeah, it's just a batting free.
700 runs in 100 overs. We watched the last few overs together, and I actually don't enjoy these games.
Well, it was interesting because you said I'd much rather see like a 250 set and chase.
I'd much rather see an even battle between bat and ball.
Yeah. If you had to have one or the other, would you rather have an ODI that's batting heavy or one that the bowlers have a big advantage? I think they're more exciting with the bowlers.
They are, but I don't want to see bad batsmen. I want to see a pitch that pushes bowlers, that gives a bowler a little bit of gets the wind behind their sails, if you like. I don't want to see the best bowlers with a poor batting lineup. I want to see a really good battle between bat and ball, which we didn't get that today. We saw Jadeja and Ashwin bowl really well, but we didn't get to see. I like to see when they're swinging it, when it's swinging around, or they seam movement or bounce. There was no bounce in this pitch. It was very slow, very good foot, and the boundaries are so small. Like some of the boundaries were 65 metres, and you're going to clear that with ease. Some of these players.
I think the thing, the pitch is not competitive or not going to make isn't really good enough to get a really good game when 380 is nearly chased down.
Well, that's crazy. When we, saying that 2 years ago, a team getting 380, you would expect that to be, Australia versus Afghanistan or something like that, wouldn't you? Really,
that should just be the other team just demoralised, and just be like, well, that's not possible.
But to see England fall 15 runs short is incredible, and also to sustain a run rate of over 7 in 7 runs per over for 100 overs. It's difficult to watch, I think.
Well, we were saying that really we don't want to go on and on about the bowling because we do that every time. But do you think more than the bowling, it's the pitch that we're more bothered about with this one? Of going, all right, the bowling wasn't great.
The bowling wasn't good. No.
Yeah, because a lot of runs have been scored. But on a trickier pitch to bat on, you can't get that if there's something in it for the bowlers. You can't get that score. So is it more the pitch?
Well, both teams now have conceded over 350 2 games running.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. 4 innings of, we've seen in 200 overs, 1,400 runs scored. No, it's
it's bonkers.
Which is just crazy, I think. We may as well touch upon the bowling very quickly.
Right.
Like we said, if you want to listen to us slag England bowlers off, go and listen to the last show.
Yeah.
Go and listen to the Test series.
We've done that quite. Yeah. I mean,
we're kind of getting.
Like it.
I watched the game and just thought, I don't want it to be another show where it's just us going after bowler after bowler after bowler of England. But anyway, team news is something Owen called, and I was
You were for it.
I either wanted Ali or Rashid to go and bring in, but we said another spinner, didn't we, to come in?
Yes.
We said to Dawson to come in. Instead, Rashid makes way for Liam Plunkett, which is okay. It's not brilliant. The only problem is, if you don't mind me saying this, is England are really one-dimensional with these bowlers. If we look at Ball, Willie, Wokes, Plunkett, Willie is slightly different, but those 3 bowlers, Plunkett, Wokes and Ball, fairly similar. You don't get a lot of variation between those guys, do you?
What do you want as variation? Who was the
Bumrah?
Who was the guy that played a couple of games for England? The bowler, sleeves.
Chris Jordan, no?
No. The guy who we went to school with, someone who knew them. He has tattoos, sleeve tattoos.
Jay Dernbach.
You want someone like that sort of variation?
I would like express pace, really fast.
Well, Plunkett
wasn't hitting 90 consistently. He can hit high 80s.
It's like he's.
I think Jordan's a tad quicker. Ben Stokes wasn't hitting 90. Stokes can hit 90. Ben Stokes isn't. He isn't. I don't want to continue to slate England bowlers because we've done it so much. But his performance today with the ball and the bat, but I don't mind him batting. The ball was really bad, terrible, unacceptable. And this word is coming across so unacceptable for English cricket. Gets me really worked up. But yeah,
bowling's not good enough. But we applaud the selection.
But I want to see more variation in that team.
What do you mean? Because I don't think the conditions are that good. And in one day,
do you remember what Wood used to come off that short run up but bowl 90?
Right.
I'd like to see him. I know he's injured, but someone like that to come back in. I think Plunkett, Wokes, and Ball are too similar.
So you don't actually want the bowlers to be bowling more variation. You want just different types of seam
bowlers. And whether maybe a spinner would have been better, Dawson maybe to come in.
Yeah.
But
I like the fact they changed it because Rashid is just not good enough.
And it's worth saying again, we said it last time, that the only bowler that was worth their weight is Wokes.
Yeah, done really well.
I picked up 4 for 60 off 10. Brilliant. Let's go on to... I'm going to talk about Yuvraj Singh. Now, I've got a confession to make about Yuvraj Singh.
Go on.
He's the most... I hate him.
Why?
He's the most hated player.
Well, he's not. You can't say he's the most hated player.
By
you
myself,
don't like him.
By myself.
Right.
Yeah. And the reason is if you have watched England versus India for a long time, like I have,
Right.
or been able to continually to remember it, if you like. Yuvraj Singh always scores runs. He's always a thorn in England's side.
Right.
Do you remember 6 sixes versus Stuart Broad?
Yeah.
Do you remember the ICC Champions Trophy final? I think he scored 100 there. Was that Tide game he scored big runs? But he always finds runs against England. I think he's got an average in ODIs of over 50 against England. And that innings, for someone who's got to remember, Yuvraj Singh has had to come.
He's got to be getting on now.
He's been left out the side and had to come back and perform.
Just for England. Brought him back for England.
150. That's such a brilliant knock.
It's a huge score. It's a one-dayer.
Yeah.
It's a one-dayer.
Yeah, it's massive. There's something I need to get off my chest, though.
Something else?
Was that Yuvraj Singh is supposed to be susceptible to the short ball.
Oh, hang on. So we decide not to bowl short at him?
No. We decided to bowl short to him, but he's worked out this problem with the short ball. We spoke about it last time.
Right.
So if you're going to bowl short, don't just bowl it slightly back of a length. Bowl it short and bowl it quick.
Yeah.
Don't bowl it so it's up shoulder height outside the off stump.
Yeah.
They gave him so many of these, and 150 runs later, he's winning the game. Dhoni, the old pro. I like watching Dhoni bat. There's no silly shots.
Did you do any of the helicopter?
No, there wasn't that many. It was actually proper. He started slowly as well. It was kind of like, he bowled there's a fair few dot balls in there.
It's amazing, isn't it, when you play proper cricket shots and do well? It's bizarre.
We didn't see the helicopter. I was a bit disappointed.
Proper technique and playing proper cricket shots and do really well.
He looked really
crazy. Why isn't he playing scoops and stuff?
Though, I think he has the ability to play weird shots, doesn't he, Dhoni?
Yeah, he does.
This innings was, maybe even better than Yuvraj's innings. I really enjoyed watching Dhoni bat. And I think I quite enjoy watching him as a player. He's so composed at the crease when he's keeping or when he's batting. Doesn't look like he breaks a sweat. Just plays his shots and then gets on. No pressure for him, really.
Does he still wear a helmet with the spinners come on? You don't have to do that in India, do you? You do in England now. You have to wear a helmet all the time.
Yeah.
But in India, I don't think you have to yet. They haven't brought that in.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think that's right. All fielders are on the back.
We only saw 6 overs of spin, so... Actually, Moen didn't bowl that badly, but I enjoyed watching Dhoni's innings.
But you didn't like seeing Yuvraj Singh?
I've seen it too many times. 381 for 6. India were 25 for 3 at one point.
Do you think that if Singh and Dhoni don't do that well, which is always easy to say, but because they did, so you can't really. But do you think we skittle them for not very much? Or do you think other people just keep going? Because England, I think there's more people contributing down the scorecard.
The thing is, though, I think England need hundreds rather than starts and outs.
Yeah, I'm saying
because if you think Yuvraj Singh's basically played 2 innings that Roy had played, he's taken the responsibility of another player. That's 2 brilliant innings he's put into 1 innings, if you like. I think England need hundreds rather than starts and outs.
Yeah, I'm saying if Singh and Dhoni don't go on and do really well, do you think other Indian they were strong enough and they'd have stepped up anyway?
Both teams have got brilliant batting lineups, and England's is fantastic. You could have seen India have played 2 ODIs against us now. 4 different people have scored big hundreds. That's impressive, isn't it? 4 different of the top order
I know.
have scored big hundreds as well, not little tiny things.
I tell you, what I'm interested though over time is to see how they do in different conditions.
Yeah,
because Pakistan did really well in the UAE.
Mm-hmm.
They did reasonably well against us.
Did very well against us, I think. Yeah, not in the ODI format, but in the Test format, definitely.
If you go back, I was like, I think they're the best team.
And Australia hand out a bit of a whipping.
And they've just got crushed.
In the tests. Yeah.
So I would be interested to see, because they are playing in India, and these pitches are batting pitches. So I will be interested to see when they go off and play in other places. I think we'll get a good idea of just how good this batting lineup is.
Do you think they're the best team in the world? It's difficult because it's in India, isn't it? But they're certainly the best team in the world in India.
I think said in the comments, saying I think it's very dominated by who's playing at home at the moment.
Yes, Triple CO, CCCO said that the pitches...
And I think that's a really good point. I think whoever's playing at home, whoever they're playing, unless obviously they're, a really low-ranked team, but the top teams, it's who's playing at home is the favourite. Which has been a while, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's been the case.
Yeah. I think there's a problem in Test cricket with that. But do you think India? You could say that about England, but do you think India could go to a place? England very good in home conditions, but we've seen it. They're not very good in subcontinent. Yeah. We've seen it twice now.
Yeah.
These last few months. Do you think India would do better if they went to a place like New Zealand or England? Do you think they'd do better against that swinging ball than England have shown against, or other teams have shown it when they've gone to subcontinental conditions? I think India would will surprise us actually and do better than what people give them credit for. I think that Indian team, their batting lineup and those pace bowlers they've got can do very well in other conditions. They're my overall best team in the world at this moment in time, Test and limited overs.
I think they would struggle against the Duke ball in England. Especially if you've got James Anderson firing.
You don't think it would be a contest?
No, I think it would. It's definitely always going to be a contest, but I think you're not going to see them doing as well, anywhere near as well as they are at the moment.
Well, no,
but I think because of their bowlers,
they'll do better than what England have done in India.
Oh, yes. So if that's your question, yeah, I think they're stronger.
And I think they'll do better than most teams would do, travelling away from home.
Do you reckon who's next in line? Because you saying India are comfortably world's best team?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then England are doing all right then in the one-dayers because they've both been competitive. Well, the last one wasn't really, but this one was a really good game.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. Let's spend the next, the remainder of the podcast talking about the England batting lineup and how they did. It was a really good game, and you can't fault the batting lineup, I don't think.
They've got 366. I mean, yeah, you can't really have a go.
There is a fault, though, that I would like to bring up. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I want to know what you think about this. Is Jason Roy makes 82.
Yeah.
Joe Root makes 54. They had a partnership of 100 and doing really well.
Okay.
Should those two, which have both had problems with making hundreds,
right?
They get in a lot, don't they?
Yeah, Root especially.
Is this a problem, or do you take 54? Good, well done, mate. You've done what needs to be done. You've made a positive contribution, or should we be saying no? You actually need to go and make big scores when you're in. It's
a good question, and I think it's getting to that point because it happened with Shane Watson in Test match cricket. Do you remember every time you go out to open the batting, it was like he's going to get 50. But then he will get out.
LBW.
And he was getting in, but he was getting, but like that time that Shane Watson got out LBW when he was on like 60 and Ricky Ponting's face was just furious.
Yeah, I think
it's like he's still got 50.
It's actually infuriating, especially seeing Joe Root.
But I think it does become a problem.
Because Joe Root's such a brilliant player and he will get 50 a lot and then just not push on. But, Roy has all the skills. Great innings today. But 82, when he did, what did he get, 60 or 70 in the last game?
Yeah, he's
and that's been
really
the difference between the sides. They've had 100 makers in India, but in the England side, we've got people get in and get out.
Yeah.
Alex Hales, quickly, must be kicking himself.
He hasn't been going at the moment, has he?
He's been on 2 pitches that we've seen. Yeah. 300 runs, been playing in innings. He hasn't played international cricket for a while. Missed the Bangladesh series because...
It's his choice.
He thought it was too dangerous to travel. Was obviously not involved in the Test team to India.
Yeah.
But in the summer he made a big 177. And he must be thinking, oh, come on, let me get going on these brilliant pitches. I could go out and score runs. But
do you think he'll get picked?
Oh yeah, he'll keep his space. But he must be kicking himself thinking,
yes, you're going to. Definitely.
Why can't I just have a bit of luck and stay in there?
I think, like you say, I think Root probably is as well.
Yeah.
It's about an opportunity. I need to get 100. Both of these games, I'm getting started, and I still haven't managed to make one.
But there was a brilliant innings of Owen Morgan.
Owen Morgan, fantastic.
And I've been on Owen Morgan's back all of last year. We didn't have the podcast, but I was on his back.
Yeah, texting him.
I was emailing him, sending hate mail. Booing him when I was in the crowds. He was thinking about quitting. Yeah, did you? Because of me.
Trolling him.
Like on the South Park episode, that was me. What's his name?
Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald.
Right, come on. Right.
Brilliant innings. He really needed 100 as well.
I tell you what, he got out, but
Run out.
he got out the way in my first season of playing cricket for a village team.
Well, your name's Owen, so
Yeah.
right.
I did that. I didn't get out, but like when they walk out of their crease as the bowler's bowling, and like every single cricket team, right, has old blokes who just think they know everything, and you think they do as well until you've played some years and go, oh yeah, they don't. But he gave me the biggest bollocking ever for doing that, walking out of my crease before, like.
What did you come back with? Sorry, mate, or did you give him something back?
Sorry, I didn't realise it was such a problem. It's like, you never do that. Don't ever do that again. So I saw that, I was like, Ray would be upset with him there. I was annoyed by it though.
I do have another question for you.
Go on.
Owen Morgan was, I think, not 10 off 19 balls at one point.
Yeah.
And this was when England were kind of... Let's just go back to that moment. He hasn't gone and scored 100. He's still 10 for 19 right now.
Yeah.
The game's still going. You pissed off at him. Like, you're not doing the run rate. You're nowhere near the run rate. You're at a strike rate of 50 when you need to be at a strike rate of 110, 120.
Nah.
You're allowing him to get in.
You have to get in. You have to get in. You start getting annoyed when he's taken up like 50 balls and he's on 20.
Right,
You're
okay.
like, right, now you just need to take one for the team.
But if he would have got out for 20 off 35 balls, are we bollocking him?
Well, it's not good enough. But you're still like, well...
Are we bollocking him not for not making runs, but for taking up so many balls? No, you're fine with that?
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah, it was something that came into my mind. I would like to think what other people thought of that.
Yeah.
Does it piss you off that people take a while to get in? Don't think about them going on making runs, because Morgan did. But if they were to get out early, say for 30-odd balls and only scored 20 runs, is that better? Is that worse than them getting out for 10, but made 10 off 10 if you like?
It would frustrate me more if people go out there trying to go at the run rate straight away.
Hit 25
and you're like, well, that's totally useless.
We saw a great contribution from Moeen and Plunkett.
I'll tell you what annoys. I know we've done really well with a bat, but shot selection, it annoys me so much. I think there's too many premeditated shots now.
Yeah.
People play across the line and get bowled. That's basic.
I think the cow corner. This is such a small ground. Cow corners being only like 70 metres. Right, okay. I think people are just going to have a.
But I saw Stokes get out. Wow,
that wasn't premeditated. He missed.
He went off the back foot and played across the line and got bowled.
Well,
it's like he's not even trying to smack it. He's just trying to like nudge it.
He's trying to nudge it
across the line.
He's misread the flip of the arm ball, if you like, the quicker one, and it's taken the inside edge and hit him onto the stumps. He wasn't. Did
he actually hit it?
His bat straight.
It looked like he completely missed it. It wasn't.
It was.
Watch it again.
I watched it.
He played across the line.
His bat is straight.
He's not playing straight.
Or is he? Do you think he's?
He's going like that.
Do you think he's opened the face?
He's closing it. He's going like that and closing.
He's trying to push it to the leg side.
To get to the leg side, outside off stump, and he's going like that and nicked it back onto the stumps.
Well, he certainly made a mess of the arm ball, hasn't he? There.
It frustrates me above everything
else. That's ODI cricket. If you watch Owen Morgan's innings, he another left-hander,
huge slices when he drives.
But no, when he was getting himself in, he was angling the bat all the way to the leg side.
Right.
Just trying to get one, if you like.
I know. There's a difference, though. And Kevin Peterson spoke about it with a flamingo. And everyone thinks that's a shot playing across the line. But he said he plays that shot best when he actually plays it on the line and his bat's actually coming through the line of the ball straight. And then he's closing it on contact.
When people get themselves, if you like... I like the idea of, when your head and your shoulders are straight and you're... hitting through the line then. Because that makes sense, doesn't it? If your head's in a good position, your head's outside the line like that.
Yeah.
Your arms aren't moving.
Yeah.
Properly.
You need to be in line.
That's why the flamingo works well, isn't it? Because he could actually get himself all of his the motions of his shoulders, his arms, and his head could all be bolt straight, playing through the line like that.
Yeah.
But not playing straight, but playing. He can play it.
But people think that's a shot playing across the line, but that's when it's played badly. That's what I'm saying.
Stokes has had a problem with his head moving, but he just needs to play spin better, I think. But
that just annoyed me.
Yeah, we need to give credit to Jadeja and Ashwin. Brilliant.
And a good game. But I would like you say, I want to see a more competitive pitch for bowlers and batters. Because it is a competitive game. So it's not that the game hasn't been competitive, but I want to see more competition between batters and bowlers rather than who's got the best batting lineup.
Well, the 40,000 people, which is a brilliant turnout for ODI cricket.
They love it. Absolutely.
They love ODI cricket. Yeah. It's a shame that Test cricket isn't as dominant there. But they're walking away seeing India win, and they've gone and seen 700 runs.
Yeah.
They're certainly thinking this is probably one of the best games I could possibly see. Surely?
Yeah. I'm sure it'd be good to watch, but I like seeing competition.
A battle between not between batsmen, but between bat and ball. Yeah. Right. To quickly finish off, the third ODI is coming up on Sunday, I believe. What changes, or if any changes, are you going to make to the England team? The batting lineup's fine for you, I imagine.
Yeah. Well, you can't.
You're not going to look to experiment because we're out of the series. No, forget that.
Screw that. Try and win it. This last game, I mean, and then
a game. So it's the bowling lineup, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you going with the Stokes keeps his place as the all-rounder? That's fine. Are you going to go in with the 4 conventional?
Wokes has to keep his place because he's the best.
Are you going to go with 4 seam bowlers, or are you going to go with 3 and have Stokes as your 4th?
I would get rid of Ball and have a spinner.
Take Ball.
And keep Plunkett.
Keep Plunkett.
Mm-hmm.
So Ball's out. And your spinner's going to be either Dawson or Rash?
Dawson.
Rash doesn't going to go?
No.
Moeen Ali's fine to stay?
Yeah.
Great innings.
Yeah, exactly. And he didn't bowl that badly. He just shouldn't be our frontline bowler. I don't... Yeah. We've had that conversation.
I'm going to actually... I'm going to match that, actually, and say...
I think that's
exactly
good.
the same. Bring Dawson in instead of Ball. Yeah. You've got another batsman if needed. And also maybe a bit of variation.
Don't experiment. Let's try and find our best team.
Well, we got the ICC trophy in the summer, so we need to work towards that. That will wrap it up for today. Please throw us down a comment.
Yeah,
we
comments.
Really enjoy watching them. I know it might not sound it.
And we like going through them. And the last podcast, that was really good going through the comments.
Yeah, so we'll look to do that. If we get some comments in, we'll look to try and talk about them.
Yeah.
So anything you want, that's either how you thought the game had went, things that need to improve on the podcast, things you'd like to see on the podcast, throw us down some love, whatever it is. We'd love to hear from us. The like ratings, please hit the like button. It helps us out a ton. It helps us feel good, but also helps other people view the channel. I think we got some dislikes because I said I wanted one. Yeah, 2 dislikes. 2 dislikes out of 800 people. Oh, that's all right. We didn't get 798 likes, though, did we? That's true. Got one. We got one. Thank you. Yeah. And always hit subscribe. Remember, new content every week. Yeah. Also, if you're an Indian fan, would you like to hear us do more Indian podcasts when this series is over? It's something we might have to look at. So start following some of the keep on putting comments in, and we will look to improve the podcast every week. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll see you on Sunday.